Hi guys, Jason here from Trojan Photography, and today I've got a DIY for you. So I'm going to show you how to make these tethering cables. So I use it with the GoPro. I've also used it a few times with the camera. I mainly use it with something like a suction mount or something if I'm attaching the GoPro to my car or a car and driving around or something. While the mounts are rated highly and I've never had it fall off, you can never be too safe. And for a little bit of time, a bit of effort, a bit of money, it's a great precaution to have, because you don't want a $400, $500, $600 camera falling off and not only breaking it, potentially losing it or something. So I've made it various sizes. So you can see this little one fits around the suction mount, and this is just for short range stuff. I've got this one, sort of a medium size one, and realistically you can make it whatever size you want. It's just a matter of measuring it out. So they're very simple. You can buy them pre-made on eBay and various other sites and stuff, but they cost a lot of money. And once you've seen this tutorial, you'll easily be able to go out to the hardware store or buy all the products you need on eBay and make it in no time, various lengths, and you'll have it all there for you. So what do you need? So first of all, you're going to need some galvanized wire rope, and preferably get the ones which are coated with the plastic. So it's galvanized wire, so it's braided wiring, which is extremely strong. This stuff's rated up to 93 kilos with a breaking load of 370 kilos. It's never going to break, which is awesome, and it's great. So I got this 10 meters. I got it from my local hardware store for about $10, so about $1 a meter, which is great. So you'll need some of that. You'll also need these things. So these are little swages. So they're copper swages with chrome around them, and we'll use these to make the loops around. So we can loop around stuff, and that's how we're going to lock it in. The other thing, which is optional, but I'd highly recommend, if you're already getting the coating, you get the coating around the metal, so if it's on the car, when the wind's going past it, it's not rubbing up against the metal paint finish on your car. And metal rubbing on paint is not great, or whatever you're using, you don't want it to rub. It's not as abrasive, and then even if you're out in the cold weather or something, it's not going to get as cold for you, which is great. The optional extra is I've got a bit of electrical tape, and I'll show you this through the tutorial. A bit of electrical tape just to cover up that chrome swage, because while the chrome looks nice, it is another piece of metal that is abrasive, that can rub up against stuff, and that can damage the paintwork or whatever else. So, and it's nice, it's recognizable. I know mine's red. I made a couple for my brother. I've made them blue so we don't get them mixed up and stuff. So that's easy. So let's get into it. Before we get into it, I'll just show you quickly how it works. So right now I've got that. Goes around the suction mount. I'll fix the GoPro on. So, put the pin through. Tighten it all the way up. So that's never coming off. Even if the suction mount comes off, it's stuck on. Okay, so let's get into this tutorial. So I've got my braided wire, I've taken it out of the case. Now for tools for this, you'll need some sort of pliers. I've just got my Leatherman here. You'll also need either a hammer or a vise, table vise preferably, and we'll be going out to the garage soon for that. And then if you want to continue through with the optional extra of the electrical tape, you'll obviously need some electrical tape. So get the length you want, you can measure it out, work it out around the mirror of your car to the side of the car you want to mount it on, or whatever you want to. And then you just grab the length, and then you simply cut it. Might be a bit tricky depending. Make sure you've got really sharp pliers or something to work with it. So you've got one shorter length that you need. Simply thread through the swage. The swage has a double ring figure, almost a figure 8 through it. Slide it through one end, loop it around on itself, slide it back through. So there's just a little bit sticking out. You've got this little bit here at the bottom sticking out. And now you've got this hole, this loop. Now before you do anything with the loop, measure it on what you need it on. So with the GoPro mounts, you can measure around that little bit down the base. If you want to loop it around there, if you're looping around a camera or other, like a tripod ring or something, I've got an eyelet on the bottom of my tripod, you can measure it around that. The other thing is you want to make sure you can feed it through itself comfortably, so you can loop it back on itself, so you don't need to have as many fixings and stuff. Once you've made one, you can loop it, you can measure it off itself. So I'll simply line it up with the one behind that I've already made. I just pull through the long end until I get it around about the size I want. Right there we can see that's a comfortable size. If you really want to check it up against, I've got this GoPro mount here, put it over, make sure it's quite tight to fit over. Make sure it goes over, but make sure it's tight. Don't make it really loose. You don't want it falling off the other end of the mount or something. So make sure it's tight over. Might make this a little bit more tight, okay? So I'm happy with that size. So the first thing you want to do, get your pliers out, put them around the metal swage and push on it as hard as you can. These are just sort of initial, hold it in place, turn around, squeeze that down again, and that's in place. So that's not really moving. So now we're going to go out to my garage. I'm going to show you the final steps and we're going to finish off this little tutorial. So guys, I'm now at my garage. I've got my table vise. If you don't have a table vise and you've got a hammer, so what you can do with that, you can put on a hard surface like concrete. I wouldn't really put on a table just because it's not the greatest. And with the swage, put the swage bit on the table and hit it with the hammer until it's crunched down, and give it a good pull and twist on this and make sure the loop is tied down. So right now we're going to zoom in. I'm going to show you on the vise what we do, and then I'm going to show you how to tape it, and we're going to wrap this little DIY up. So we've got the swage. I'm going to simply put it, open the jaws up a bit, put the swage in between and simply tighten it up. So it's nice and tight. Undo it. You can see it's tight and that is not coming off at all. So as you can see, there's no gap, it's nice and tight. So now I've got my electrical tape. I'm just gonna pull it out a bit. You won't need much of it really. I just usually pull out a bit. I don't know, 5 or so centimeters should be enough. If not, we can always put a bit more. Start it off, wrap it around, make sure we're covering all that chrome and giving it a little bit of a buffer so it doesn't poke through or it's not as sharp, the corners anymore. I just like to pull it tight. So wrap it around. There we go. Got a nice end to it. And it's done and it's nice and finished. So guys, that's how it works. You just do the other side and then quite simply you've got a nice tether for your GoPro or your camera or really anything you can use it for. I use it on my bike when I've got it in storage. That way if something does fall, if it does fall accidentally, it won't hit the ground. So they're great little things to have. And to make one of these, it cost me about $2.50 per tether, which is great value compared to $5+ per tether that people sell them for on the web. And you can make them whatever size you want. You're not stuck to these custom sizes people have out there. It's great. If you enjoyed this DIY video, please give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. If you want to see any other DIY videos, I'm happy to put them out there if you've got some ideas for me. Subscribe to the channel. There's way more DIY ideas I've got coming out. Lots of tutorials and other photography, video related things. Now that I'm starting to use the GoPro a bit more, I'm going to have a few more DIY things for that. A lot of cool accessories I've made and come up with and perfected. I'd love to share with you guys. So give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and thanks for watching guys.